I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour, a calmer space to consume the news. So today we have one mini story here at the top for you guys, and then we're going to go over the winter storm and the train derailment in Ohio, which we've been needing to talk about for a little while now. So we're finally getting to it, as well as the gunman situation in Florida. Let's get into it. So our one mini story for the day, word has gotten out that Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner have been subpoenaed by Jack Smith, the special counsel who is looking into Trump's role in the January 6th attacks and election interference. So I know we've reported on here before that Mike Pence was subpoenaed. He's kind of trying to fight it. So we'll see if Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are going to fight it in a similar way, or if they're just going to go ahead and testify. Long story short, this kind of shows how deep Jack Smith is really going with this investigation into what happened. We know Ivanka was with President Trump on January 6th for some period of time in the Oval Office. So she definitely has close knowledge of what was going on, but it is pretty intense that he is subpoenaing these two. So first up for today in our longer stories, winter storm. So over 1 million people are without power today due to the massive winter storm that is moving across the United States. Portland, Oregon saw the second biggest day of snowfall in recorded history, according to ABC News, with about 11 inches in one day. 8 different states are under blizzard warnings. About 2,500 flights have been canceled, and who knows how many others have been delayed or impacted by the storm. Salt Lake City saw 17 inches of snowfall so far, and what's kind of crazy, but, typical of the times that we live in, down in the South, we're actually seeing extreme heat for this time of year. In Nashville, it's 80 degrees, New Orleans, 83, and even Washington, D.C. has a 79-degree high. These are very strange temperatures for February, needless to say. Atlanta hit 81 degrees, and that is officially the hottest February temperature on record for ATL. Orlando is set to hit 90 degrees, which would also break its February temperature record. Fortunately, there has only been one death on record so far that we know of. A Michigan firefighter was out helping with power outages when an electrical pole fell on him. Our thoughts go out to all of his loved ones and anyone affected by his passing. Stay safe out there, you guys. And next up for today, I have to issue a content warning here at the top. This story involves multiple murders. So we have to discuss a gunman in Florida. You guys, this is a bizarre story. So we are all accustomed to hearing about mass shootings at this point. And though each one is extremely tragic each time, there's a certain rhythm that's typical. But this time, a 19-year-old man shot a 38-year-old woman in the Pine Hills area, but he returned to the scene of the crime later on to shoot a news reporter and a 9-year-old child, among others. We typically think that the danger is over in these scenarios when the shooter has fled the scene, but that was just not the case this time. It is currently unknown what connection, if any, this shooter may have had with the victims, but it appears that he may have gang relations in his past. That said, his victims seem very random, for anything gang related. A news anchor, a 9-year-old girl, very strange. All of the families and loved ones affected right now are in our thoughts and prayers, and we will keep you guys posted as this story continues to unfold. And last up for today, we're going to discuss the train derailment in Ohio. So, you guys, this is very much delayed. It's been a long time coming that we talk about this story. It's an important one. So, in a town called East Palestine, a train carrying highly toxic chemicals ran off the tracks. And ever since, the town has been reporting strange health effects. You see, right after the train crashed, officials decided to burn some of the hazardous materials to try and avoid having them explode. And that may have been a mistake, as townspeople believe that this sent those toxins into the air and potentially polluted their water systems as well. They've reported burning eyes, strange oil bubbles in the water, rashes, and headaches, and they're generally just worried about their long-term safety. On top of all of this, officials from the government kept emphasizing that everything is safe in the air and water, so residents are just not feeling heard. Initially, it looked like this wasn't going to be a big deal because, again, officials were saying the water's fine, the air is fine, but as time has gone on, more and more people are hurting and upset. Locals actually confronted the CEO of the train company in a town hall meeting, as well as their governor, Mike DeWine. President Biden has vowed to hold the company accountable through fines, reimbursements, and cleanup, but it may not be enough to temper the anger in the area. And just to heat things up further, President Trump headed down to the town, East Palestine, Ohio, right on the heels of Biden's trip to Ukraine, almost to make the point that the president is neglecting his own people for the sake of these international trips. Biden has yet to visit the site in Ohio, but he did send Pete Buttigieg, who is the transportation head for his administration, as well as multiple government agencies down to the scene. The health department set up a clinic to assist any residents with health concerns and try to get to the bottom of what they are experiencing and where these symptoms are coming from. Even our favorite, Erin Brockovich, has entered the chat. She plans to hold meetings in East Palestine actually today at the high school to hear the complaints of locals and help to fight on their behalf. If you don't know who Erin Brockovich is, you must watch the movie about her life with Julia Roberts. Trust me, it's a must-see. Essentially, she's a busty single mom who decides that she's going to take on major corporations legally to fight for families whose children have been poisoned by ground pollutants. There's truly no one like this woman. Anywho, if you Google Ohio train crash, you'll see pictures of the huge explosions and black clouds bubbling up from these trains. It's scary, I can't lie. We definitely hope that they can get to the bottom of this environmental catastrophe soon and get this town cleaned up. And that is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, "I have found that if you love life, it'll love you back." If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review or shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us be able to keep creating the news du jour. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/sugarfreemedia. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram and just sugarfreemedia, all one word, on TikTok. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.